it makes me realize more and more every day how important creating a mass awakening is, and how creating, people, educating people and learning more. And I saw this conversation going on in the chat room, and I totally have to disagree with everything concerning that conversation. And that idea that, the sheep deserve what they get because, and this is like the third time I've seen this. I mean, you understand those are elitist mindsets. The sheep deserve what they get because they haven't been paying attention. Look, we never had a chance. They engineer this world where you don't have a chance to pay attention. Now, I see so many people that they start to learn how it works. They get this elite. I talked about this yesterday. They start to get this elitist mindset that, they're better just because they know about the New World Order and the Illuminati and the elite and all this stuff. But, I mean, this has to end, this mindset where, you somehow, we know what's going on, somehow we're better than other people in the population. I don't see how we can do that. I just don't see how we can have this separation. We're already separated enough. Do we need more separation? Is that really the answer? Is separating ourselves and disconnecting ourselves further from humanity? I don't see that as the answer. I don't see as, look, you have a responsibility. If you know about this information and you just want to sit around and call everybody sheep, and yet you're not owning up to your responsibility to go to those sheep, as you call them, and to try to inform them, then you are not living up to what your charge in life has been if you were, lucky enough to be given and graced with this information. It's a gift. This information, knowing this stuff, is a gift and not a curse. But it can become a curse if you're not acting on that gift in the appropriate way. You really can only go one of two ways. You either know about this information and you do what you can for the betterment of humanity with it, or number two, you do what you can against humanity with it, which is exactly what these elitists are doing. There's not a lot of gray area there. That mindset, let me tell you something, folks. When you see people try to put that out, that mindset, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people who don't know better to follow their ideologies. And, yeah, I know that. How long you been listening to my show? Don't tell me, you ain't going to tell me nothing. Give me a break. How long you been listening to my show? Probably not long. The Founding Fathers were illuminists. They were illusionists. They set up this country for the illusion of freedom. The Constitution was never set up for you and I. It was set up for the white aristocratic landowners. Yeah, I've talked about that 100,000 times on this show. But that's the whole thing now, and you talk about a second revolution. Well, it's a revolution of the mind at this point. That's exactly what this is. This is a revolution of the mind at this point. A revolution where we don't allow our body, mind, and souls to be enslaved anymore. To where we finally break free of that bondage, both physically and mentally. See, it goes two ways. And the shackles of bondage have been put down upon us in a multitude of varieties. And the fact of the matter is, we've been focusing on one area of where the bondage, the physical bondage. You see, how they've been keeping us in physical bondage through laws, through governorship and provinces and flags and all the rest of this stuff. But yet, how they've been keeping us in spiritual bondage as well, by the restriction of knowledge and by the restriction of knowing what we are actually capable for. And what we're capable of is another form of those chains. And this is really where we're at right now, folks. We are at the point where we are creating a revolution of the mind. And it is up to us. And this is, to me, I believe, what we're trying to do here And yet it's being, you know, as we talked about many times on this show, and as Lee Rogers talks about on his show as well, this revolution of the mind is being, so there are various factions that are attempting to neutralize this effect by steering people back towards those issues that really keep you down at this low level of vibration. They keep you at a low sensory level of vibration. You understand what I mean? By that I mean worrying about things like FEMA camps and outbreaks and getting your panties on a bunch about these things that have to do with killing your physical body. If you know, in your heart of hearts, and you know this truth and you know this information, and you know that your spiritual self is an entity in which the New World Order and the elite and their laws and their tyranny and their viruses and all this stuff cannot destroy. And I think a lot of people have not come to that realization yet, but we'll work on that and we'll get there together. But once you know that, folks, it really changes your whole outlook and attitude towards fighting this stuff. When you know that no matter what they do to your physical body, you cannot be defeated, you're unstoppable. You become undefeatable. Nothing anyone could say or do can bring you down because you know that your role in this fight goes well beyond what happens and what occurs in this limited, transitory, physical incarnation that you're existing in right now in this moment today. And they say that there is no other time like the present. You're exactly right. The only time that exists is the present. The past is an illusion. The future is an illusion. The only thing that's certain is right now in what you are and where you are right now today, and that is what I believe that you and I are right now is we are spiritual entities that are here, and we're here to fight this stuff, and we're here to stand up and to become the first true revolution. That's the whole thing. And I think all these revolutions before this have been co-opted, and they haven't been for the right reasons. We stand on the precipice of something great here. We stand on the precipice of being able to create a true revolution of the mind, of critical thinkers, of people who know what the human spirit is capable of, people who know that this goes well beyond this physical realm. And people who are doing it because they want there to be a world in the future where mankind can exist and coexist peacefully together without a hierarchy, without a structure, without one group of individuals being above the other. This is why what I've been talking about and how I want to create a media arm with my show, with this network, where there is no separation, where the listeners, the hosts, everyone is on equal playing ground. Everyone is an equal soldier against evil. That's the whole thing. And doing it where we don't have to have a movement and a leader, and we don't have to have a religious foundation on it. If you have your own religious background and your own religion, that's fine. That's yours. That's not everybody else's. That's the whole thing where people get messed up. Because whatever your own little spiritual thing is, and whenever you connect into the spiritual realm, is yours. It's personal. It's not for you to share with anybody else. That's what makes me mad when people announce, when they say, well, I'm a Christian, or I'm an atheist, or I'm a Buddhist. Okay, great. So what? Why do you have to announce that? Personally, I don't care, and it really doesn't factor in. I think that those kind of things you should keep to yourself. I think where people mess up is they announce that to the world, and then when they announce that to people, it automatically sets forth in someone's mind what type of person they are based on their preconceived notions of whatever that paradigm is. And again, and what does it do? It serves to label you, and it serves to further this idea of wanting to put everybody in a category, in a box, with a label on your head so they know where you're at. And I think that's really what it boils down to is knowing that, you don't have to tell people that you're I'm a Christian, or I'm a Catholic, or I'm this. Okay, well, so what? It really doesn't factor in with who you are as far as the fact that You want to do what's right for humanity, and you don't like evil. So from that standpoint, I don't care if you're an atheist, if you're a Christian, if you're this, if you're that, or the other. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care what color you are. If you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We're all the same in the fact, folks, that we do not want to exist, and we do not want future generations who don't have the ability to be able to tell that this is all a transitory, illusionary physical reality that is just so it's so fleeting. It's so temporary, and they don't have that discernment to know this is just a temporary illusion that we exist in for a period of time to learn lessons before we go on to another incarnation of our higher self and ascend into the hierarchy of the spiritual realm. But that could be so easily figured out a lot quicker if there was a world where you weren't enslaved into this system and conditioned into a system to be a cog in the wheel from the day you were born. That's what it boils down to, folks. The future belongs to us if we choose to create a world of the future where we can put aside labels, where we can put aside all the rest of this stuff. And the separation is what needs to end. And we've got to start bringing ourselves back together and freeing ourselves. This is why I've stated many times on the show, becoming a free, sovereign citizen of humanity, where you're free of borders and flags or anything else. And that's the most important thing, folks, is we've got to do this and do it now, and we've got to do it together. And separating ourselves is not going to get the job done.